Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to the first episode of Daily Investment. So, this is going to be obviously a brand new series on the channel, where I'm basically going to walk you through some of the daily investments which I think are decent. Basically check the market, looked at a few things that have gone up today, and as a result I'm going to draw you down a few cards I recommend buying tomorrow for some of the up and coming events. So what I've done is I've kind of split this list into two things. One, you've got Path to Glories, which are relatively cheap now, especially compared to what they got hyped up to. And obviously if they score, they can go up a little bit more. And players that are being used in these SBCs we're having at the end of every game. So if you guys haven't picked up at the moment, at the end of every World Cup game, we're having one SBC. This can be anything from a 7.5k pack all the way up to 25k pack so far. Therefore, we can see that, you know, they're changing up a little bit. I mean, we've got, what, like 3-4 weeks of this. And especially the group stages, bear in mind there's up to 3 to 4 a day. There's going to be a lot of these, and as a result, some of the investments may be used. So, we are going to start with Path to Glories. And as I said, I've checked on these prices on Xbox. If there are two different on PlayStation, I probably would stay away. And that is Mr. Raphael Varane. The reason Raphael Varane is pretty good is because he got hyped all the way up to about 50k pre-game. If we can check out his price right now. And nowadays he's about 40k. So you can see another thing is he's just sitting there for 40k, which means no one's actually buying him there for 40k. Which means you might be able to get him more between, let's say, the likes of 35 to 40k. Which means if you sell him pre-hype, you might make anywhere from 10 to 15k. And say, you know, if he scores, which is very unlikely, he'll also go up. But I'd probably sell him pre-hype, you know, so you're making 10 to 15k for a 40k investment. Honestly, at this point, it's not bad. One drawback to this is it is Thursday. They do play on Thursday, but I say the cards could get hyped up between now and then. Who knows? You know, I mean, France is actually playing an amazing game, so he's highly unlikely to hit like the team of the week. But you know, I guess there's always that. So the next player we got is going to be T.HAZARD. T.HAZARD, like the rest of the group, will be playing over on Monday, so we actually don't have too long to wait with this card. T.HAZARD is also a great card because he sometimes plays in left mid or I think it's like left or right mid, which is brilliant because, well, left and right forward actually because they play 3-4-3. But it's actually really good because it means he has high influence underscoring goals and getting assists. And this is the sort of stuff in game that hypes him up. So let's say Ronaldo scores 3 goals, it's going to be a lot more hype than if Ronaldo just has a great game in midfield. So these attackers are a lot better because if they score 1 or 2 goals, they're going to go up. And they got 18k. I actually see this as an extremely good investment. I saw it as about 22k on a footbin when I was checking. Honestly, 16k for an attacker from Belgium. Not quite sure who Belgium got, but it's probably one of the weaker teams if they literally don't have England. So very decent investment. Could easily get hyped up to about 25k, and you're only holding on to that card for 1 day. So T.HAZARD, chat. If there's actually one thing I'd take away, definitely try and pick a few of him up under 20k. So there you go, you got T.HAZARD. I'd say he's actually an absolutely amazing investment because you don't even have to wait very long. Next card, next card we're going to be talking about is going to be Rodrigo. This card you might be waiting a little bit longer with. So I believe that Spain now, they finish with Portugal. They don't have any massively big teams. And there you go. So Rodrigo's in about 22k. Now the problem for Rodrigo, which isn't really going for him, is neither did he start the Spanish game or get subbed on. Sadly, it was Aspas that got subbed on. But as I say, likewise with T.HAZARD, he's a 20k investment. He's highly likely to get goals and assists as he's playing in that striker role. And yeah, so as a result, it's not bad. But yeah, sadly, Rodrigo, you might have to wait till Wednesday, or you know, or when he performs well. Now, I'd say one massive drawback to this is that they actually decreased a lot of these guys' price ranges recently. So someone such as Rodrigo might have been sitting at let's say 100k price range, but now if you buy him for 20k, the max you can make is 30k because they have price ranges. Now you might be like, oh, just wait for the price range to get updated. Well, the most hype around these Path to Glory cards is when they score their goals because everyone's like quickly buying it. But people having to hold on to their cards and wait for a price range, not only is everyone going to be selling at the same time when they increase their price range, but there's just not going to be much hype around them. So that's one of the drawbacks to a lot of these Path to Glories. They've killed a lot of their price ranges, but there's Rodrigo. So now moving over to Danny Welbeck. Now, the thing about Danny Welbeck, although he may not be a England starter, well, they didn't have a bad performance against Costa Rica, is that he plays for England. Of course, England is a massive team when it comes to support. And I think, like, as we've seen the likes of Giroud, we've seen the likes of Asensio, Isco, these sort of cards before their games. Even if they're not starting, these cards will get hyped up from like 30 to 45k. So I feel like Danny Welbeck, Vardy, and Rashford, these could be cards that, you know, they got up another 10-20% just for the game out of pure hype. So yeah, we got Danny Welbeck, and of course if he does get subbed on, likewise with the T.HAZARD Rodrigo, he's playing in one of those attacking positions, meaning he's going to get high influence on goals and assists. And I'd say for a 20k investment isn't too bad. So there's Danny Welbeck, of course, playing on Monday. We then head over to the likes of Asensio. So Asensio sadly didn't get a start or even get subbed on, but you can get him for about 35k, which isn't too shabby, because it was about, I think it was 46k prior to the game, and that was prior the line announcement. So as a not bad investment, could be good for a pre-game, especially as you know, they might want to change stuff up a little bit in Spain, you know, especially as they got some of the easier teams. So there you go, you got Asensio playing over on Wednesday. We're now heading over to a card, player that played today, didn't do too good, good old Mr. Bump, which is Olivier Giroud. I think Olivier Giroud should be saying about 45k right now, if I'm not wrong. Indeed he is, 40k. And I say Olivier Giroud pre-game, let me go check quickly. It was actually a really nice card to get hyped pre-game, because of course, as I say, the striker gets high influence of goals and assists. Pre-game today, he was hyped up to around about 50k. He hit 55k today. So I'd say that's 15k between now and then, and he didn't even start, you know, like, it just shows how much these cards get pre-hyped, you know. And I'd say even if he does die, he has that high influence under goals and assists. Not really coming through today. Today's France game was actually pretty awful, but there we go. Path to Glory Giroud, so he's playing on Thursday. We'll now head on to another Englishman, which is going to be Vardy. This is also going to wrap up the Path to Glory. This is Vardy. Again, another guy playing on Monday. An attacker, high influence under goals and assists. I'm not going to lie, the rotation of England's attacks, it's just all over the shop nowadays. We don't quite know who's playing where. Is it Rashford, Vardy? Obviously, Kane's kind of a given starter, but yeah, so Vardy again, you know, an attacker, high influence under goals and assists. Being England, a lot of hype because, of course, there's a lot of England support. So now we're going to be going over to the SBCs, and I'm not quite sure if there's one sitting around at the moment which I can use as an example. Check it out live. No, there isn't, sadly. But they've started up in the pack, so we recently actually had a rare gold pack. And as a result, they are basically requiring high chemistry and a mixture of leagues and nations. Now, one thing that people go for a lot, especially on the Xbox, this happens because the cards get a lot rarer, is English left mids. Now, English left mids, I believe there's only about 5. You got Albrighton, Townsend, Rodriguez, and not too many. You got the rare guy who is GIROUD, but there's just not too many left mids. I'm going to go show you right now, see if there's anyone I missed out. You can actually see they're already inflated, but trust me, these players will fluctuate all the time. In fact, they probably just become inflated for the most recent SBC. Look at that. The non-rare left mids in the Prem are actually all the way up to about 1.3k, which is amazing. So I'd say, if you can get these cards for about 500 coins, hold on to them for one of the 4 SBCs. The more likely you need for one of these SBCs, and then bang, you know, hold on, buy them for 500-600 coins, flip them over here for 1.3, probably even maybe going for 2.5k at the prime of today's SBC. So that is English left mid. You can go the rares or non-rares, and there you go. There's a Townsend also on about. There's a Rodriguez, and yeah, especially on Xbox where there's a lot less cards. So there you go. So you got the English left mids. So that's like, these are for the flash SBCs you get after the World Cup games. Next one we're gonna head over to is gonna be French left mids. And you can go French left wings, someone such as Valbuena, but I'm not really gonna focus on them. It's more gonna be French left mids. So likewise, so the reason the English Prem guys are good because you sometimes want strong chem links. Well, you're a lot more likely to go for a strong chem link or someone from the same nation and league rather than someone from the same club. And I say this is another reason why France is pretty good. They have 3 left mids. They got Coco, Saint Maxim, and Entep. But of course, Entep being the one rare. They don't have any left wings. These are literally the 3 left mids other than Payet and Lamar. So yeah, as a result, these Coco and Saint Maxim can get relatively inflated. You can see right now, you know, they seem to have gone up to probably about 1.2, 1.5 when the SBC was sitting around. And I say you slap them up for about 500 to 600 coins, hold on to the SBC, and it's good. So the reason, what I'll say quickly is, the reason why Coco and the English ones as such are better than, let's say, I don't know, let's say Spanish left mids, is because there's just a lack of them. I say there's 3 French left mids from the Liga here. There's only, I think, 5 English left mids from the Prem. Whereas if I go over to the La Liga, there's probably something like, you know, 10, 12. So you've got so much more range and choice, which means more supply, which means, you know, it's harder for the cards to get, let's say, rarer. So there you go. So now another thing they can go is, so rather than going, let's say, with lots of different nations in one league, they can go for lots of different leagues but one nation. So there's a few players out here. In fact, the next 2 guys I'm going to be covering is going to be basically English guys in different leagues. So we're now, guys, going to jump over to the likes of Hins. The reason Hins is quite good, so the SBCs we've seen, the Flash SBCs after World Cup, quite a lot of them are starting to require a little bit more in the leagues and nations. So let's say there's an example, a requirement where they want 8 leagues but 2 nations. A lot of people are going to be going over the English leagues because there's already 4 English leagues with the Prem, the Championship, the 2nd and 3rd EFL, or whatever you call it, 3rd and 4th, sorry. And then on top of that, you've got the Scottish League and the Irish League, so that's already like 6 players. But finding the last few is a little bit harder. Of course, you've got like one in the Eredivisie, because there's quite a lot of Englishmen in the Eredivisie. But then you know, I mean, people are just going to be looking around and such. And someone like Hinge you can buy for 200 coins. You can go buy a fair few of him, or you can literally just buy one and store him in the club. So because he's a centre forward, which is quite nice, he's actually got the diversity of playing anywhere from cam to striker and 8 chem, which is pretty good. And of course he links up with loads of German players as well, because people might want to link up the German league and the English league, because of course there's lots of different German leagues and there's lots of different English leagues, which means you could end up getting into a team on Footbin. And because there's no other Englishmen in the Bundesliga too, don't mug me off. There's one more, but he's 2k and he's a rare silver, which means he's a really rare card. There's very little amount of players you can use. Now, other than the English league and the champs, there's actually also not many golds from an English league other than the Prem and the Championship. Other than a guy seems to get around, you know, he sits in the Couchway, he sits in the, he's just all over the shop, and that is Mr. Ravel Morrison. So it seems like he might have even been using a recent SBC. But there you go, Ravel Morrison. He is a rare gold English from the Mexican league. Otherwise, what I call it is a lost. The guy is very lost. But hey, you know, as long as he's enjoying himself, that's good. But yeah, so an English guy out, a gold English guy out of the Prem and the Championship is a very rare occurrence. I mean, you've actually got a few in the MLS, but you know, other than that, you're not seeing them much. So, say they weren't high rated or a minimum amount of golds and loads of leagues, someone such as Ravel Morrison can be an absolutely amazing investment. Again, if you manage to snipe him up, pick him up for 500 coins, because the majority of the day there's not going to be any sort of demand for him. Buy one of him, put loads on your transfer list, you know, do whatever you wish with this sort of information, and should be good. So this is the first daily investments video. As it's not like a highly edited video, it's just my opinions on a bunch of players. If you like it, feel free. If you have any comments on how you want to do this series, I'd say it's just episode 1. It's almost like a pilot this for FIFA 19 and see how it goes. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. If you guys haven't already checked out, I also do a daily Road to Glory, and this is called Simply the Best. Basically, I'm trading to get the best version of every card on FIFA. Feel free to check it out. It will literally be the only other videos that's on this channel. It will literally be, because the videos will alternate between daily investments and Simply the Best. Both are actually going to be daily uploaded videos. It's great. But enough waffling on for me, guys. Hope you have a good day, and thank you very much for watching the video.